What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the HTM Buddy build of the U.S.S. Reliant. I'm Jordan with Reliant the Stars.
And I'm Ken with Ken's Hobby Bench.
Ken with Ken's Hobby Bench, who's actually doing some real work to this model.
Thank you.
Indeed. Your last video was 90 minutes, and
Yes.
it's amazing because that's like 90 minutes more than I've actually worked on this. So I some work's going to happen. A video will be out this week. It'll happen. It'll just be on Saturday. That's just what it is. But yeah, so a lot of work has been done. Now, I guess, do we want to start with a bit of an update, give everybody a bit of an update on the status of where the parts are that we're waiting from CAS, and kind of talk a little bit about what's happening there?
If you want to go, I haven't read the email yet.
Okay.
We just got an email.
Yep. So Ken has been communicating back and forth with CAS. And what's funny is, like, now that I see the picture of him, I definitely saw CAS a couple times, and it would have been more than easy to talk to him. So I'm a little bit bummed about it. But CAS did go ahead and send us an email back, and just kind of, Ken was just kind of keeping up to date, and we're trying to get the Lake Monster Details logo so we can put it up for our videos. And Cass has basically just let us know that his 3D printing right now is kind of screeched to a bit of a halt, as mine did, because we're basically having very similar issues with our printers. But Cass right now isn't able to do any printing. So we're still kind of in the wait for parts mode for this build. So if any of you guys are also waiting for Reliant parts, I know that a lot of you at Wonderfest were definitely asking about all this stuff. It's not going to be available just yet. So we're waiting, you're waiting, and Will is finishing the model, which, for as much as I thought we were going to catch up to him, Will's getting pretty close to finishing up. So that's kind of the big update, at least that I've kind of gleaned from everything. A lot of people came back from Wonderfest with the con crud, so a lot of people got sick, and just you get that many people all together, things generally happen that way. So
Yeah, unfortunately.
But yeah, so that's a bit of the update, at least for the replacement parts for the things that we're going to be taking care of. The fins on the side of the nacelles, and then the little recess bays right back down here. Those are going to be replaced, along with this piece right here as well. So
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of what we're waiting on. So just kind of wanted to give you guys an update. And so now that I've done some talking, what are you going to be working on this week after an incredible amount of work last week?
Well, last week, yeah, I actually got all my lighting set up in the bridge section here. So what I'm thinking this week I'll be doing is masking off. Sorry, my lights are. I see them on the camera here. They're completely blowing out, but for me they look phenomenal. Like I got 3 little red lights here on each window. They look, amazing. And what I'm going to do is going to mask off each one, and then my little lights down on the back here, as well as my beacon on the top. And then I'm going to try and prime it and light block it. I'll probably try to do something on the bottom as well, so I don't get red light bleeding into the main hull, just in case. So that's
Awesome.
and then I'll probably try to clean this up, this putty that I put on last week around my nacelles. That I think they turned out really well.
Yeah, it looks great.
And I even got the Raytheon effect cleaned up.
Wow.
So
Very cool.
turned out good. And how about you? What are you going to work on this week?
Now that I've spent so much time on the nacelles over the last couple of weeks, I really kind of want to get back to working on basically where you're at right now. I want to work on my Alexa device decided to start speaking in the middle of all that for whatever reason. But basically, I want to take care of the same thing you did, and I'm basically just going to copy you. I want to go ahead and take care of the main bridge with the lighting, and then I want to go ahead and basically get on to the A and B deck. And it's going to be very simple. Just probably just one or two LEDs in here should be more than enough to light it up. Although I was thinking about doing a cob on the inside of there too. Not sure.
Just do a
But
little circle with one or two
yeah,
strips.
yeah, like just one cob strip, just kind of right in the middle, I think should be enough. And if I were to resistor it down quite a bit, I think that just to match the output of lighting. The only question about that, however, is whether or not I've got the right. Like, I don't want the color of these lights to be different than the color of the rest of the windows, right? So that's
Right.
the one thing that I gotta kind of consider. And if I don't have a cob that matches, then I'll just go ahead and use the same LEDs and just do a bit of like probably one of my little light bouquets that I like to do. Um, for the inside, but I also need to kind of take a look at Will's and see what he did for lighting on the inside of that too. So, but yeah, that's kind of the name of the game for me this week. Is just kind of work on bridge and the A and B deck. I kind of want to start working on the lighting on the way down. We have Donnie. Don's modeling desk is printing out the parts for us. We're going to have those. We will figure out how to get them shipped up to you. Has Canada Post resumed work, or are they still on strike?
They haven't gone on strike yet. They're
Okay.
As of today, the union is reviewing the offer made by the Canada Post. So we'll see
Okay.
what happens. If need be, I can always talk to Donnie about getting it shipped via a courier of some sort.
Perfect. Yeah, and I just told when I sent off the files, I'm like, just get them printed, print out 2 sets, and then we'll figure out shipping from there. So he said he's cool with all of it, and so yeah, we should be getting all the light boxes taken care of. So my idea is that we're gonna have a lot of the light boxes ready to go, and I kind of want to start working on my lighting on the way down. I think the week after that, I kind of want to work on my turrets as well, along with talking to Todd. We need to start talking to Todd about what we're going to be doing for the control board and all of that, because we're getting into some points where we're going to be, are we going common positive or are we going common negative? So that's kind of what needs to be determined, at least from my end. So, yeah.
And I know one of these days here I'm gonna have to do a video of me putting together the base. So I'm kind of curious too how we're gonna do the shield effect on that.
Yep. And that's all part of the coding for that. And then, like, what we need to do is talk with Todd. And, like, we're like, there's plenty of things that we can do, including adding a speaker to it and start getting, we can have Khan yelling at Kirk, or, what, quoting Milton at him, which would be pretty amazing. So I think it
From
would be pretty.
Hell's Heart, I stab at thee.
Yes, indeed. Now, trivia for you, Ken. Do you know what book Khan is quoting in Star Trek 2?
I do not.
So it's Milton, and it is Paradise Lost.
Oh, there we go. That's actually kind
Indeed.
of fitting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Is like Paradise Lost. There's a lot of, like, Nicholas Meyer knew what he was doing when he was, writing and directing Star Trek 2. And the fact that, he's got Khan obsessed with Paradise Lost,
Yes.
is so just on the nose and tasty in a lot of ways, and it just makes sense for how he approaches Kirk, especially in their epic standoff. So yeah, now that's a little bit of Star Trek trivia for you there. But
Perfect.
to circle back around, like, if we want to have, like, it make a bunch of noises, like when we're firing the phasers, let's have it make sounds. So we need
Yes,
to let's set up a time with Todd, and to go over the plan for it. And then you got the Arduino and everything, right?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Excellent. So we're ready to go. And then all you would need to get for a speaker is one of these. And it's just an Arduino speaker, and it has a JST connector on it.
Oh, okay, so it has
So,
to be an Arduino one.
well, no, I don't think so. Generally, like, these are just kind of what are used these days. But if you have, like, any type of small speaker, and just because it says the JST doesn't really mean anything. So any type of small speaker should work just fine. So,
Okay,
but
because I do have some from Tenant Controls.
a 10 control speaker is going to be perfect. That's perfect.
Great.
Yep, same thing. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, we should definitely, like, make it have some sound and make it do all sorts of crazy animations. And like I said, I want to have Khan like quoting Milton at Kirk for everyone to see. That'd be super, to hear, so to say, and that would be super cool. So we
Well,
should
that's
definitely
we got to hear Kirk yelling "con" as well.
100%. So let's get together with the Todd Father and set up a time to start making the plan, because we need to start thinking about that real soon. So
Yes, yes, for sure. Also, did you manage to get yourself some of the metallic black?
no, I need to order some, or I need to actually make it to the hobby shop. I actually left my super glue at in Louisville.
Oh,
So I have no super glue right now. There is zero CA in this house, and I found that out when I was trying to actually do some fixing of the Razor Crest from Wonderfest, and I'm like, so that being said, I need to make my way to my hobby shop. But if I am lazy and I don't do that, I'm likely just going to use the gunmetal from no, well, I don't know, like the gunmetal is might be a little too shiny. So
it may be.
or the dark iron. Do you think dark iron would be fine?
Uh, I think it has a slight brown tinge depending on the the
Yeah,
brand you use.
it's the Tamiya.
And the thing is, if you're going to use the Tamiya, I would highly recommend Airbrush Flow Improver
Yeah.
and their airbrush thinner. You don't need much, just a couple drops of of the thinner and a drop or two of the airbrush flow improver, and
Okay.
it makes a huge difference for spraying
Okay.
this stuff.
Okay. Sweet. Well, I'm likely the plan is still to go get that, go pick that up over at the hobby shop. They have the whole like Vallejo, like they have everything Vallejo at my hobby shop. So yeah,
That's handy.
indeed. All right, my friend. Well, it seems like we got some work to do as always. Looking forward to seeing what you get done this week.
Well, and I look forward to seeing your progress as well.
All right, my friend. Well, have a good one, and for all you guys, enjoy what's coming next.
See you at the bench. All right, so here I am at the bench, and what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to start off just by sanding and cleaning up the putty I have around here. Try not to affect my paint here on my chiller grills. If I do, I will have to go back in and touch it up, but ideally I shouldn't have an issue. So I'm going to start off with like might go with a 240 to really knock down the high points. And then once it starts getting low, I'll move to like a 320 grit and then maybe a 400 and kind of work my way up. And all I'm aiming to do is just fill in or sand down the putty here and just make sure I have a smooth transition between the main hull of the warp nacelle and the actual chiller grill. So you probably don't need to see me sanding, so I'm just going to get to work on that, and I'll be back if I have something interesting to show you, or just when it's done. All right, so I've gone through it. I've sanded everything off for a first go through. Looking pretty good. There's a few spots. So what I did is this time I went around with Mr. Dissolve Putty from Mr. Hobby, and I don't know why I didn't use this the first time. I just used a little eyebrow, was it eyelash glue applicator for putting on false eyelashes. So I just used one of these and I just went around and dabbed it around the entire section, even though not the entire section needed it, but I figured I would anyway. So that's gonna sit there and dry for a while, and then I'll come back and sand it again. In the meantime, I'm gonna start masking up our bridge and getting that ready for some primer, just for light blocking. So what's that going to look like? It's going to be, I believe, a little bit of tape to mask each of these little windows where the lights are behind, and then probably these little areas back here will be just some masking fluid, be it probably my Mr. Masking Sol. I'll try to use a toothpick or something really fine to get a little bit in there. And then just a little dot on top of our beacon, our flashing beacon on top. So I'm going to get that started and I'll come back. All right, so here we have some of our masking being done. I've used some Mr. Masking Sol Neo here, and if you can see it, I've got it into those holes. What I had to do is just take a toothpick, take a little bit out of my little bowl here, and then I would just dab it in there as deep as I could go, and then I would come in with a cotton swab, moistened, and I would just quickly just go over it almost as soon as you can, and then both of them, and then you may have to do it a couple times, but you want to clean out everything around it, but leave that in there to kind of do your best at keeping that masked. And then just a little bit on the top here for the light, just like that. Oh, it was already, what I had there was drying, and I just used that and it picked it off. So there we go again. There we go. Now for the windows, I've been using my tape mask here, and what I've found is it's, after measuring with a caliper, each of the windows is 1 millimeter. So I've been cutting 1 millimeter strips, and let's grab one here. Just short little ones, and just get them into place here. Sorry. And you can just kind of get it in there and just push it in, just like that. And that gives us our window masks. So I just make sure they're all pushed in really well. What I'll do now is I'll go around and I'll trim off the excess tape along the bottom here, just to keep these so the bottom can be light blocked. Just got to be careful that I don't, like that, pull out the part in the window while I'm doing this. So make sure you're using a fresh, sharp hobby or blade. So again, I'll just tuck that in there. And because there's not much tape here, it doesn't have a lot of surface to be sticky with. So if worst case scenario, if I can't cut these, that's fine. But I should be able to. But I'm not going to struggle with it anymore on camera. So what I'll do is I'll get these cleaned up, and then I'll go and I'll prime it, and I'll come back and I'll show you how it's turned out. So I'll be right back. All right, so there we have it. I've sanded that all down, and then I went and retouched up the paint here. To be honest, I actually, just to be safe, I laid new tape strips in there. Now that I'm a little bit more experienced with it, I went back, laid them in there fairly quickly, and then reprimed the entire area, and then went through with my black, metallic black here from Viejo. So that turned out really good. I'm really happy with that, with both of those. And as you can see here, we now have, this is two layers of black primer, and then just one quick coat of just some flat white on here, just to quickly add the effect here for you guys to see. And if you can see, there we have our 3 lights in each one. Sorry, that one negative's a little twitchy, but there you have it. Unfortunately, I touched it there with a dirty finger, but not an issue. I can clean that up and repaint. Haven't really done much here. You can kind of see some light leak there. That'll be cleaned out. I got to get the liquid mask out of these holes here, and be ready to go. But that was the main effect I was going for. Like I said, you can now see the 3 red lights looking really good. So that's going to be it for this week. Maybe thankfully a shorter video. So make sure you tune into Jordan's video and see what he's got in store for us this week and see how he made out. And don't forget to check out Cass at Lake Monster Details for all these great parts and many others. I know I just ordered a set of the Nebula set conversion for the Enterprise D kit. I'm looking forward to getting that. And also check out Will at the Ensign's chair. He made a lot of these parts for us. Well, not for us, but for everyone. And he gave those, shared them with Cass so that people are able to get them. So thanks again to Will. Go check him out at the Ensign's chair. But again, thanks for watching. You guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.